Hi guys. Another month.
Hello.
As you can see,
Another month has gone by.
yes, and my internet has been crappy all week long. So
It
we may
happens to
get
all of us, so
we might get slightly choppy, but it's okay. The audio
yeah.
should be
So
fine. And
as long
I've
as you can hear us, that's what matters.
and as long as I don't accidentally mute people by clicking
Yeah, this
buttons
happens
that I don't mean to
twice.
click. Happened last week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Just let us know in the comments below if there's any trouble with the audio, and we'll fix it the next time. But
Yeah. Usually,
yeah.
usually I panic and I find I figure it out eventually. Because I'm like,
That's
oh, I
funny.
haven't looked at Streamlabs in a hot minute. Maybe I should double check that. And then I go check, and then
That's,
I'm like, oh wait,
yeah.
I'm a hot mess. It's bad. All right.
All right. Well, start because I know you have a lot more to say. I'm going to be really quick with my read because
Okay.
I'm just reading this. This is just everything. This is probably going to be most of August too, although I did have an actual TBR list for this month. This is my progress.
Yeah.
I just dropped my bookmark. Give me a second. I gotta go down again. I am back. Okay. I dropped all of my books. My chair hit my pile, and every single book from my TBR list just fell onto the floor.
No.
So
Oh no.
I will be it's okay. I'm not showing my back or anything too much, so we're good. I need a better place to stack these, so we're gonna put the biggest book on the bottom because that's the smart thing to do.
That's what I did.
Okay.
I'm like, we're just
Yeah,
gonna put this one down here. Even though it's probably gonna
yeah,
be the next one I read, we're gonna put it down here.
yeah. So anyways, this is how much I have read so far. I'm averaging about 10 to 20 pages a night because I'm really into Skyrim right now. I when I get in my Skyrim moods, it'll go for a little while. But um it's just like it feels like you know how Air of Fire was like nonstop, but like this is that on steroids. It's just like something
Mhm.
is constantly happening. There's usually not a POV that I'm like dreading so far.
Mhm.
Like even Aylin's, I'm kind of like just meh with hers, but like I'm just like there, and also like I'm getting to the part in the beginning where there's like the battles are kind of starting in. Like
Mm.
it mentioned a little bit from Lysander's perspective where they were like in mud and fighting, and then there was a lot of like war meeting stuff and a lot of planning. Like it's like the epic fantasy part of epic fantasy where it's just jumping perspectives, everybody's planning things. Kale and all them are still trying to get, to where everybody else is. There's so much going on. um I really like Dorian, and I like his mindset. I feel like we're finally getting Dorian kind of processing and grieving
Mhm. Yeah.
for like Air of Fire. It kind of feels like he just went into denial, which is like a realistic way to deal with things. So it feels like he's just now like, okay, I have nothing. I have this gaping just hole in me, and if Aelin can't save the world, then I'm gonna have to. And he's kind of like ready to die for it. I get it. Kind of is what the mindset he seems to be in right now, early on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so he summoned Gavain. So I really liked that scene. Like I was half playing Skyrim, but I like paused Skyrim because I was like reading the scene. And I really liked that whole scene with him and Gavain, I think it is, or Gavin or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, the ancient dude. So that was interesting. I really still feel like the ancient people are just really dumb. Like they're not helping.
Mhm.
They're, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they've made a huge mess of things, and everybody else in this generation has to fix it. And
Mhm.
even Gavain or Gavin, like he even didn't come off as like, because when Dorian asked him, "Is there another way?" or something to that effect, he didn't at first didn't answer, and I was like, "That's rude. You should be
Mhm.
offering help." And then he's like, Gavain was like, well, something about how he didn't want to help because if they succeed at uniting the word keys, that means Elena's going to disappear forever. And
Mhm.
it's like, the world is going to be destroyed. You selfish, stupid, um, jerk. I
Mm.
couldn't think of a good insult that wasn't going to be. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just like, that made me so mad. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's just like, it's really epic. I feel like sometimes you have to be in the mood for this amount of epicness because it's just
Oh
like,
yeah. There's that's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot to take in. Also, For some weird reason, my mind really latched on to the spider. So there was one of the female spiders kind of almost attacked Manon, and Dorian was able to hold it off. And then she called herself Cyrene, and it's a shifter because it's the one. I love the connection. So it's the spider that stole Falcon or Farkin or Falcon, whatever his name is, the shapeshifter guy. His light, part of his ears, and so it got his shape-shifting ability. So now the spider, has turned into like a human's perspective, like a human body. And for some reason, my brain latched onto that, and I'm obsessed. Like, I don't know why, but I love the creativity behind that, because you have, and it's an actual spider.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's a spider with a human form and a name, so it's almost like a character. And so you kind of want to like her, but then you think about it's still a spider. But it's like she's a character now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
It blew my creativity. Which, again, Falcon's not even there yet, so I don't know if they're going to be able to kill her and get his years back. He hasn't even reunited with Lysandra yet, so I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
Kale and all them are still trying to get there. I remember texting you a line because, Irene, it's either Egret or Igraine. Every time I try to talk about this freaking character. Irene.
Yeah.
Put a hand on her belly. And was like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to help in the war. So I'm like, pregnancy hotline.
Yeah.
I need to stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Those are all the things. And this is just the first 100 pages. By the way, there are 900 pages in this book. For those of you who don't know, it's almost 1,000-page book. It will be the biggest book I have ever read, and I don't know if I'm going to read a book that's going to top it. I don't actually genuinely know if I'm ever going to find a book.
Kingdom of Ash is in a league by itself. Just like angsty.
I'm gonna put it at the bottom so it doesn't fall. But I know I'm excited for you because you've got a lot to talk about. So let's hear your stuff.
Okay. So I can't remember if I had started Eldest in July, or if I had just started it and was like continuing it, but I finished Eldest. I only give it a 3 stars because I just felt like the ending was rushed really bad. Like, they spent like probably a third, like between Aragon and Roran, his cousin, between their two POVs, like 95% of the book is spent like going back and forth between their perspectives. And then at the very end there's a battle, and the battle was over in like 30 some pages. And in the process there's a character that shows up at the beginning and then kind of disappears for reasons that I won't go into in case you want to actually go through and read the series again. But and then that person comes back, and it just feels like it feels like when my students will like swap, like give somebody their paper but like change a few words. That literally is how that's how this character feels with like, I don't know, it just feels like he was given a similar plot line, but a few things were changed.
Right.
But he's more powerful, and I'm like, it's so annoying. And I feel like all of the progress that Aragon went through when he went, because like at the end of the first book, he's going to like train with the elves, and so I feel like he matures a lot while he's there. But as soon as he leaves, it's like there was no progress made with this character whatsoever. And it's like he completely rushes. He pulls like a Luke Skywalker in episode 5 moment where he rushes off to try to save them. And it's like no progress has been made at all. And he's spent these months with these elves. And it was just, I don't know, it was just disappointing, I guess, the ending was. And I was just, I liked this other character that they brought back in, and I wanted more for him other than just, oh, let's copy and paste but change a couple things and make him more OP. I'm like, let's not do that. It's so just unoriginal. It's like, it wasn't like, I guess I've been kind of spoiled with like plot twisty kind of endings, like big, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that kind of endings. And it was like, I wasn't expecting this character to come back. But then, like, for the main character to regress maturity wise, I feel like back to where he was. And for him to completely get annihilated by this other character in their battle together. And I'm like, it's so disappointing. It's like incredibly disappointing. And it's like, I don't know. I want to finish the series, and I will eventually, but I probably won't be going back for a hot minute back to the Aragon series. I'm just done. I'm done with it for a while. I'm done with it for a while. Like, I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
And then I went from that. I didn't really stick to my TBR list this month. I just completely inserted Lord of the Rings because I felt like it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I guess I did have like a stack of books to choose from. And I'm like, you know what? Nah. I want to read this. And so I read The Fellowship of the Ring. Honestly, it took the hobbits a lot longer to get to the prancing, like, these chunk pages are them traveling through the Shire to get to the prancing pony.
Yeah.
But it happens in, like, first 10 minutes of the movie. And that was kind of surprised me. Like, they meet Tom Bombadil, which I'd heard that they introduced Tom Bombadil in the Rings of Power. At least I'm wanting to say I saw a picture of, like, him being really introduced. So they have actually, I assume, I haven't got to that episode in season 2 yet. But apparently he's been introduced finally. But I'm like, I kind of wish, I wish they would have, because the Hobbit's journey to get to the Prancing Pony was way darker than what the movie let on, because they get, like, lost in this forest and they kind of, like, lose themselves a bit, and, like, it's kind of like when you got, like, in the Hobbit they were going to Mirkwood and they get turned around and twisted around and they get lost where the spiders and stuff are at in Mirkwood in the movie. It's like, it feels kind of like that. But in the books, and Tom Bombadil, essentially they're on the brink of it, like the brink of, like, dying, and Tom Bombadil comes in and saves them because they get stuck in these trees. Like, these trees are, like, swallowing them up, and it's like, it's really, and, like, Tom Bombadil comes in and it's almost like that light, like, brings them back to life kind of in a way. Like, they were really kind of just, he kind of puts them at ease, he's really like a sing-songy type character. So it's, like, instant, like, bright, light, good character. Right after these innocent, like, hobbits kind of were not in a very dangerous situation. He spent a lot of...
I was going to add that to my TBR list this month, but the versions that I got are these, like, used ones, and they're tiny, and the pages are, like, yellow, and I just can't get into reading them because of the book itself, so I need to find some better versions, which, I mean, there's tons of them out there, but...
Yeah. Here recently, I've been looking at, like, eBay for, like, used books, because I've given up on... There's not many used bookstores in my area, but, what was I looking at?
What about your currently?
So I finished reading that. The two main moments that I was wanting to see, one with Gandalf and one with Galadriel, were just as epic in the book as they were in the movie, so I was happy about that. I was pretty satisfied, and it's like, it was just exactly as I was hoping it would be, and it was easy to read and easy to follow, and I'm like, I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, it's not like the Silmarillion, if anyone's ever tried to read that. That one feels like very history bookish. This one is very much a narrative. But you can tell that Tolkien loved poetry, because a lot of the earlier stories, like with Baron and Luthien and the Lost City of Gondolin, like a lot of those original stories were written as a poem, that was later turned into a narrative but not finished. And he does a lot of songs, in at least in this book, and you can really tell that he liked poetry, because he includes a lot of songs and like spoken word type, like songs type things, and in the book, and it's really cool. I'm reading Quicksilver. I'm really liking it. I'm just hoping that there's a plot twist at the end that makes it a little different than what I've kind of predicted, because it feels very Beauty and the Beast-ish. Like, she goes to an area where she's not really supposed to be, gets taken somewhere where she's not really supposed to be, and she gets stuck with a beast type. I say beast, not literally, but like, he's not a nice guy at the start.
Yeah.
And he acts beast-ish.
Yeah. Always a Beauty and the Beast. Like, that's the very first original Shadow Daddy kind of trope, if you think about it. So it's like, most of them fall into that some capacity.
Yeah.
But
it's just, and so he starts out grumpy, and she's kind of like forced to kind of do certain things, and it just felt very similar to like Belle being stuck in the castle kind of thing. And then at one point he invites that the friend is encouraging him to get to know her, which felt very Beauty and the Beast-ish. And then they have dinner together, and she doesn't want to go to dinner, but kind of has to, and she doesn't want to wear the dresses that he had. I just felt very Beauty and the Beast-ish, but it's changed up a little bit, because they're not just in the castle, they're going places and doing things, and she has the whole forge. She's in the forge a lot, which I like that. And I like that she's not figuring it out instantly, that it takes her trial and error, and she's having to really, like, there's times where she's like, I have to refine this silver again, because we only have so much of the silver, and we need it. And I feel like Carrion is the comic relief in there, but I definitely don't ship them, like, at all. Because I don't know, it's just something, I don't know if I could just, it just feels like she's not, at least at this point, Carrion, the guy that
okay. Did you not ship him with? I'm sorry, I got
the main character, Saris. Saris, is that her name? Saris, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's supposed to be with Kingfisher, so that's where I got confused. I was like, she's not with Carrion. So.
No, but it's like, I wasn't, like, when he came in, I wasn't sure if there were going to be like a love triangle type thing. And I think that's what Kingfisher was kind of expecting to happen. But he's kind of like a comic relief in a way, but it's like a more annoying version of what's his name? Cassian. He's like a more annoying version of Cassian.
Yeah.
Like a more scoundrelish version of Cassian is like the way I can describe him.
Yeah.
Like a piratey Cassian type character.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like she's beginning to I just got to the point where she's figured out how she can go about making the things that she needs to make, and I'm trying to simplify it for the people that haven't read it. But, or warnings, I guess. But.
I do remember, I loved the silver and the Quicksilver stuff, and like the magic system. Like, I use the word magic loosely because I don't remember if it's like directly magic or not. But everything that they did with the Quicksilver, that the author did with the Quicksilver, was like so creative to me, and like I really, really loved that part. And like, mini spoiler alerts, it's not really that much of a spoiler for people who haven't read the book at all, but like sometimes it talks to her.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of creepy, but kind of interesting, and kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen next? But like the Kingfisher situation with that was also something I latched onto that was really creative and also very unique. Yeah. And the going through the Quicksilver to another realm kind of thing. So I really loved all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too. I just kind of, I feel like, I don't know, I'm either expecting like, I don't know. I'm either expecting the typical Beauty and the Beast ending, or either, like, I could see, I don't know, I could see him, like, kind of like forcing her to leave or do something when the fighting starts and to use that command against her, um, as like a betrayal type thing. I could see, I feel like her lineage and her like parentage, other than the fact that like her history about her, like her mom's career path and career choice, I feel like other than that information, we don't know a whole lot about her parents. So I feel like I kind of want more to do with that. Like I want that to be part of the plot twist, if there is a plot twist. Maybe. I don't know. I find it strange that she's a human alchemist, and was typically, um, are they Fae, right? I think they're Fae, and it's usually been the Fae that are alchemists. So I don't know.
Yeah. Also, some of the battles that they had with their enemies, the like
Them breaking the ice was pretty intense. That was pretty cool.
Like
That was pretty, like the way that
yeah,
the way she described that whole thing was pretty cool. Like I liked that. It was very easy to picture. Like this, like the dark shadows just sweeping into the water. Like that was very, you could picture it pretty easily.
yeah, like it was very descriptive. So I think it's like, for me, if I remember correctly, it was very visual. Like everything, there was a lot that was like very visual with everything. The one of the minor issues that I had was like some of the forging was off, because me and my husband watch a lot of Forge and Fire, so I know a lot about like real forging, and my husband especially does. Like he would actually be a blacksmith if he had the money to have a forge. Um, so so some of that was a little unrealistic, but it was still like, it's a fantasy realm. But like the time that she took to make one of the something, I don't know what it was, but the time that she took to make something was really unrealistic. But I was able to like suspend belief, because I was really like, I loved the book so much that it wasn't like a big deal to me. um and again, I really loved the Quicksilver kind of magic system type stuff, so I kind of like able to just enjoy it for what it was, because it was just like so creative in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for you to get the ending though, because I will say, like, it surprised me, and there was like more than one twist that took me for a loop de loop. So
Okay.
for sure, it feels like a Sarah J. Maas style ending. So it's just like it's like a breathless kind of, oh my god, there's so much happening, all the twists and all the things are happening here. So but I kind of forgot that we were supposed to go over our July reads, and I just completely skipped over all of that to like the current read.
It's
So
all
I
right.
did not even bring them with me. I read Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. So basically, I've been reading Sarah J. Maas for like the past. I need to figure out how many months I've actually been reading this series, because that would, like, when I started staying in this series, because I've read nothing but her books for like ever. But I started Empire of Storms. I didn't do the In Tandem read, which I've mentioned before. I did Empire of Storms first. I started that at the end of June, and it kind of branched into July. I was able to finish that one mid-July. I think I actually finished it. It looks like July 17th is when I started Tower of Dawn. So, and I started Tower of Dawn after that, because again, I didn't do the In Tandem read. So I did rate Empire Storms 5 stars. I rounded up, but my actual rating for it was 4.75 stars, because I loved all of it, and it was like everything was happening and you didn't stop. So I like overall really enjoyed it. I just had an issue with Aelin and Lysandra, like never communicating with their team, and then making some decisions that felt like really bad against some other characters that I was like, that, and it wasn't acknowledged as bad, and that's what made it worse for me. And I'm kind of waiting to see if that's ever acknowledged more, because it's like, oh, we're women, so we can kind of do this kind of stuff, and that's okay, but like it actually needs to be expressed as, okay, this was wrong, this was kind of toxic, you shouldn't do this kind of stuff, basically.
It was the same issues that I had. Like, we're both spot on. It was the same issue. It's the lack of communication about the future plans with the relationship if Aelin wasn't around. And they just failed to mention it to the guys at all, even though it directly involved them, they didn't include him in the conversation at all. And it really bothered me when I was reading it. And I'm like, I feel like my gut would be in my stomach if that was me. Or like, I would be so angry if somebody had made plans for me to have a child with somebody else, even though I'm not in love with him.
Without permission.
You know, like, it's just like, if anyone were to make plans like that for me, I would have been upset. So it's like, I don't know if it's me.
So that would really bother me.
Yeah.
And like, and the thing is, the part that made it worse was the character that this happened to, that she hid it from, had respected her boundaries. That whole book. And so it's like, and now you're not going to respect his boundaries and kind of offer him that same, that, like, it was just bad. But then we got Tower of Dawn, which you've described it as a breath of fresh air, and that is, like, so spot on. Completely different world, different continent. I mean, the world building, race building, like, the whole thing was such a vibe.
Yeah.
I loved it. 5-star read. Like, if I actually had, like, I have a Sarah J. Maas shelf on my bookshelf, for those of you guys who don't actually know, and haven't seen any pictures. But if I had to, like, Tower of Dawn would go on my favorite fantasy shelf. Like, just because of how much I enjoyed it. Like, and I loved Kale. I love Irene, not Igraine or Egrit or anything else like that. I really loved Netherin, and I loved Sartok, and I loved the whodunit kind of fantasy version of that.
Yeah, I did too.
With, like, and not knowing who to trust. That was really, it was kind of a fun little wild ride.
Yeah.
The ending was still very much a Sarah J. Maas ending, and you've touched on this before too, but I'm a firm believer in the reading them in order and not doing an in tandem read, because Tower of Dawn, you really have to soak it in for what it is.
Yeah. And
the ending really changes your perspective on things that would have been weird if you read it as Empire of Storms. So then I actually did read another book that month, and I listened to the audiobook kind of off and on. Was that last month? I'm trying to figure out when I actually finished The River is Waiting. Was that June? Hold on, I'm trying to look up on...
I don't know. Like, and then while you're looking for that, like, something to piggyback off of, like, the glad you didn't do the tandem read, like, the hill that I will die on is that if Sarah J. Maas wanted us to read them together, she wouldn't have made the two books. She would have made two books that were one and would have jumped back and forth from the POVs. Because she does that in Kingdom of Ash. It jumps from POV to POV to POV to POV to POV, and it's every character. So if she wanted us to read it that way, she would have written it that way. But the fact that she wrote them as two separate books means you probably should read them both independently. And also, I saw there's a girl on Instagram that I immediately followed after she posted this, but it was like her controversial Throne of Glass takes, and some of them were spoilery, so I didn't send it to you. But they're because you haven't finished Kingdom of Ash yet. But one of them was that she felt that, like, the Kael hate was way overdone and, like, way overused. And it's like, I know I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing people, like, constantly talking about how they only do the tandem read, and the tandem read's way to go, because there's just such such an inconvenience to have to go back to Tower of Dawn, and they want to keep reading Empire of Storms, and it's just an inconvenience because they don't want to read about Kael. And I'm just like, I've started, if you like on an Instagram video, and TikTok will do this too, like on TikTok you have to press and hold it, but like there's an option where you can choose not interested, and it will attempt to show you less or not show you that person. I've done that on countless people, because I that is one thing, if you make posts like that, I personally will get irritated and I don't want to deal with it. So I just like, I don't want to see you. Bye. I know that may be childish of me, but it's like, for me mentally, I don't want to see it, because I will work myself up going through the comments, looking for that one person that agrees with me.
There's the thing is too, in Tower of Dawn, there's a lot of lore and like big plotline setup.
Yeah.
That sets up Kingdom of Amalur.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna completely either miss or not care about if you're rushing through those POVs. I feel, and I haven't gotten to the part where it comes into play yet, but I'm expecting it to. Like, I'm ready for it, you know, that kind of thing. Also, The River is Waiting, that was a June read. I don't know why I got so confused,
Oh,
but that was a June read. But
gotcha.
so yeah, it was just Empire Storms, Tower of Dawn. Those were my two reads. And then I did not expect to get through both of those in July, so I was really proud of myself because it took me like 5 days or 6 days. Like it wasn't that long to go through Tower of Dawn because I loved it so much. Um, I was able to actually start this one in July, which is why I'm starting it off at this phase, like for August. So I'm hopeful I can get through this in August. But to kick off our TBR list for August, mine is pretty much just this book. I don't think I'm going to get through it enough to actually have another book to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping I can Kingdom of Ash done. And then I'm through with Throne of Glass and we can talk about all the things. And it's going to be so much fun
Mm-hmm.
to feel like I've actually gotten the series done. And I'm going to take a while before I jump to Crescent City yet. So
Yeah,
that
fair.
is my first book on my TBR. Pretty much the only one at this point. So
Yeah.
your turn. What's your first book on your TBR for August?
Yeah,
other than Quicksilver or
yeah. Okay. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I'm trying to fix the whole internet thing, but it's just
it's okay.
So choppy, and I feel so bad because it, like, your face just goes from this to this, and I feel so bad. Like, I'm trying to get over it, but my perfectionist brain is not letting me get over it. Okay, so we're doing our August TBR now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just my first one. So your first one.
Okay, so you did, okay.
Is Quicksilver going to be your first one because you're almost done with it?
Yeah, so I will finish, like, I'm going to try to see if I don't get further along in Quicksilver tonight, because I want to try to either finish it today or tomorrow, maybe, because I'm close enough that I could see myself finishing it soon, relatively soon, because I want to start this one. Book 3 in the Crescent City series. I am, like, super excited with how Book 2 ended, and I think you are going to literally flip your lid. There's two moments where there's two moments that you're gonna flip out. There is a moment at the end of the book you're currently reading that you're gonna flip out. When you make the connection, you're going to flip. Okay? At the end of book 2, you are going to flip even more.
Like, my brain is like, so many connections.
I'm like so excited. I'm like so happy. And I'm like, I don't know how people can hate this series because it literally makes everything make sense with all of the series. Everything. It's the series that connects the dots. And I'm like, and it's the people that have a pebble for a brain that think that every series she writes is going to be like ACOTAR. I'm sorry, it's not. She is not going to copy and paste and change the characters just to satisfy the people that want Rhysand made over. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen.
So,
or it's not...
Glass is not like...
Yes.
It's not like ACOTAR. The
No.
world building
Yes.
in this is so much. If I'm judging it based on the world building, this would win hands up.
Oh yeah, I would totally agree with you.
But it's like it's so real. Like the world is so big.
Yes, and the thing is that like the romance was the main one of the main focal points of ACOTAR. Let's be completely honest. It was the romance. Not the lore, not the big world problem that's going on in the background, because I feel like there is a big world problem going on in the background. It just isn't the main focus. The relationships are the main focus. That's why I firmly believe that ACOTAR is a romantasy through and through. Because the romance is the key part of that. If you take Rhys and Feyre's romance out of it, then a decent portion of the first 3 books in the series are like the second and the third ones, you probably wouldn't have enough to make a book. But ACOTAR, and then it's like ACOTAR, the world plot, the overarching world plot is so much more like developed and talked about that it's like, there's some times where the romance could be a little bit better. And, like, some of the side characters could be a little bit more developed. But it's focusing on introducing lots of characters, doing lots of POVs, this big world issue, big world, fantasy world problem that all of these different characters have to come together in an Avengers type moment and fix.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's
you said,
like,
this does feel like a fantasy Avengers Endgame. It's
yeah.
so exciting because my Valiant series does the same thing, and it's like I never thought I would find another series that does that, and I'm like, finally, we have another fantasy series that does a fantasy Avengers Endgame, because that's my thing. And I never knew how to describe it, so now I have a good, like, okay, if you liked the Throne of Glass Avengers Endgame kind of fantasy vibe, then you'll like this. I have a good comparison now.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, even like Crescent City is even different. Like Crescent City is different than the other two. Like it's so unique and on its own, and it has a lot of like complex lore type stuff that come up at the start of the series, and I think that's why a lot of, I don't mean this in a mean way, but a lot of inexperienced fantasy readers that jumped on the fantasy train because of ACOTAR try to read Crescent City and they get really confused. But when in reality, it's just an urban style fantasy book that has a lot of lore that's explained at the very beginning. It's like in the beginning book. That's why the first few chapters people always complain about and say that they couldn't get through the first few chapters.
I've even heard some people describe Crescent City as, oh, that's not my fantasy. And it's like, it's urban fantasy, you moron. Like, it has a different... It's a different subgenre of fantasy.
Yes.
Like,
and I'm like...
love that dude.
And if anything,
head, but I'm still
let's applaud her for writing different style of fantasy. Because not every writer can write like that. So...
Even I stick to a certain subgenre of it. I branch out into other genres in general, but like subgenres. Like I never be able to write an urban fantasy, I don't think. Even though I could write a book that takes place in a city in the real world, I don't think I could mesh the two in my head. So like that's one thing that I really admire about her, being able to do these different, each series that she's created is a different subgenre, and people have to understand that. Like, so ACOTAR is going to be different from Throne of Glass, and that's going to be different from Crescent City, and so on and so forth. So, and kudos to her for still being able to intertwine them.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Definitely,
I had a theory that came up, I think it was at the end of Empire of Storms, when they had one of the big people came into play, and I thought of a theory. I forgot to tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
I think it's stupid.
Okay.
So I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to be stupidly wrong.
That's all right.
I may tell, like, if I'm right, I will let you know. But I don't know if I want to say
You need to tell me after stream. You need to tell me after stream. We won't put it on the stream, but you need to tell me afterwards because you have me curious now. You can't make a comment like that and then proceed to say, I'm not going to tell you because I think it's stupid. No, you can't do that.
Not everybody else I'm insecure and embarrassed about. I was embarrassed to tell you just because I don't know. It's okay, I'll say it. Get your poker face ready. I'm going to get my poker face ready. I don't want to show my face when I say this. I don't know why. I was just randomly embarrassed. Okay. So, it was a random line with, I think it was Elena, and she was like, like it was her POV for some reason, and she said something about how I love all the lights, or I hate all of these lights, or something about the lights, or whatever. And I was like, that's weird. Why is she seeing a bunch of lights? And at first I just brushed it off like, okay, she's in a beautiful paradise afterlife kind of thing. She gets to come back as a ghost every once in a while. But then I was like, Crescent City is a city. What if she's seeing city lights and somehow the afterlife is somehow connected with that city, and it's actually not a true afterlife? And I'm like, there's these portals to all these realms, so I'm just like, I'm wondering if that has some sort of loose connection there. And it was like a random thought that popped into my head, so I think I hadn't
even thought about that comment. But like you're right, there are the whole portal bit, and it's like, I would say just like keep things in mind. Like I would say keep an open mind for sure, but like don't trash any theory at this point. Anything that pops to mind, just jot it down and be like potential potential theories, and you can check mark them off the
I
list
know.
just
It's like
as things are
the
revealed.
beginning of film when I was thinking this was like either the past or the future. Like I remember early on when
Yeah,
we were talking
that's
about
what
some of
was
that
my
stuff. It's
original
like
thought,
this
was
is all
like, if
like
like, because I was like comparing
yeah,
maps to be like, and the thing to keep in mind too is that in Crescent City Book 1, people like fantasy readers always want to go, like new fantasy readers always want to go to the map to figure out where they're at. The Crescent City map is not the map of the entire continent. It's literally a map of just the city. It's only the city.
right.
So it's like that's
Yeah.
something to keep in, like people need to keep in mind, is that you're at like the map for Throne of Glass and the map for A Court of Thorns and Roses is not, it is like the full continent. Or not even like, because even in Tower of Dawn you have a completely different area that's not on the map. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the map's not always complete.
It's like
It's not the whole continent. It's literally just a city.
another thing is that I never even, speaking of maps, the amount of times in just 100 pages I'm going back to the map in this book is insane. I don't think I've ever checked a map more.
Yeah.
And I'm just in the first 100 pages and I'm constantly like, okay, where are we at? Where's the troops? Where is everything? I feel
Yeah.
like when you have a war,
Oh yeah.
maps are like so much more important. Like a fantasy journey type quest plotline is one where you're going to need a map, and then a war, because at least in my brain, I need to know where the troops are. I need to know where they're going, where you're charging from, where you're moving things to. So I'm like flipping back and forth like crazy to try to keep track of all of that. So Crescent City is your first. So my second one, basically my theory is if I finish Kingdom of Ash, I'm gonna be going through withdrawal because I've been reading Sarah
Oh,
J.
major.
Maas for quite a while
Major
now.
withdrawals.
So I need a palette cleanser that's gonna be good enough to hook me. I've had this arc and I should have had it read a while back, and it's a skinny little thing. So I'm like, that'll be a nice, quick, easy read. I've read a lot of really big books lately, so I feel like I just need some kind of easy reads to get through. It's Christian fantasy, so I'm pretty excited about that. He takes his duty seriously, so his home is destroyed, and he has to protect his sisters and find like a safe place and stuff like that. So it's like, and I also know her. We were published, I think, by the same publishing company when we were trad published, and I think she's self-published now. So I'm kind of excited for this. And again, it's a skinny little thing. I love it.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to kind of have a palette clip. She sent me this on her own as an arc,
Oh,
basically,
sweet.
even though it's already been done. I think she was releasing the second book to the series, and I was like, well, I don't know that one. So she's like, I'll send you the first one or something like that. So I owe her a read and review for this one, and I feel bad. So I'm like, that's got to be top of priority when I finish Kingdom of Ash.
Sounds good.
To talk about Crescent City. So that's my second.
Okay. I don't know if I don't know how long it'll take me to finish House of Flame and Shadow, because that's book 3. But I have a couple different options like that I could go to. One is I'm thinking like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, just because it's like a script. So I think like I feel like I could breeze through it pretty quickly because it's like a script style. Right. And when the only other book that I've read that hits that style is it's like Dooku. I think it's called Dooku. I think, but I think I have it put away in the closet. But it's essentially about Count Dooku and like how he kind of left, how he ended up going to like the Separatists, and like that in between, like before he went full Separatist Sith mode, but it was kind of after he kind of left the Jedi, I think.
Yeah. That may be pretty quick for you to get through those since it's in script form.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So what is that one? Sounds like a prequel or a sequel? Or
it is
Harry Potter.
So fans are. I talked to my college friend Katie. I kind of asked her her thought, her to explain the controversy for this, because apparently it there's some parts of it that quote don't stick with canon. And that
right.
J.K. Rowling didn't actually write it, that she was she kind of endorsed it kind of thing, but she wasn't the only one that wrote it. And so but it takes place. It's about like Harry, Harry, Ron, and Hermione and Draco, like their kids at Hogwarts, and so I'm pretty excited. I think it'll be fun. Um, so it's about Harry's. Yeah, it's about Harry. Let's see. He's an over like he's working for the Ministry of Magic, and he has a son. Has a couple sons, I think. His youngest is named Albus, and so I guess that it says, while Harry grapples with the past that refuses to stay where it belongs, his youngest son, Albus, must struggle with the weight of a family legacy he never wanted. As past and present fuse ominously, both father and son learn the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes darkness comes from the unexpected places. So I think it'll be interesting. That's
really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to read about their kids, and it's like I'm not a judgmental. I shared a video to my Instagram story the other day. It was like a guy essentially saying that it was like he's not a judgmental reader. He just reads because he enjoys it. And I feel like that's where I've kind of gotten to at the point in my life where it's like I'm not going to, like, at least with books. Now like Star Wars and movies are a completely different story. But when it comes to books, I'm not a super judgy. Okay, I'll explain it. If I'm in the middle of reading said book and it's either really, really predictable or just the writing needs more editing and it just sounds weird or any of those kind of things, I will start judging. But typically when I read, I get so into the story that I don't see the little details until I go back and watch other people rant about it and vent about it, and then I'm like, oh, I guess that is kind of a problem. But it's like, I enjoyed the book, so it's like I'm sorry, I can't be as angry as this person is because I just read it because I enjoyed it and I liked it. So it's like I gave it a 5-star or a 4-star because I liked it, but so it's like I'm not gonna kind of nitpick and be like, oh, this doesn't go with the canon of the books. I'm just glad that there's more books in the series that I haven't read yet, because I was kind of like, I finished Deathly Hallows like so abruptly, but I'm like, oh, I just kind of finished this series. Well, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I've got Cursed Child, so it's okay. And then I realized that the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them actually has the script, like the play script, book format, because it was a movie. They made it into a movie, but there's actually like a book format to it too. So I'm like, I have a couple different ones that are in like script style to read. That one is that one is a prequel. It's about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I believe, is like a book within the Harry Potter universe. And so it's about the guy that writes that book, I guess. That's like what I picked up from like clips and pictures and descriptions and things. But I may not have the best description of that. But it was the book I was talking about with Dooku. It's called Dooku Jedi Lost. And so it's like the history of Count Dooku. So it's about it talks about his life a little bit, and it mentions like Qui-Gon at times and things like that. So it was one of those things that I'm like, it's a prequel novel, and it's about a character that we haven't heard a whole lot about. So I read it, and I'm like, it was really easy to read.
Yeah. Okay, so that was number 2. So number 3, again, I doubt I'm gonna get through, barring some miracle. Unless a miracle happens, I doubt I'll get to this one. But I have a bunch because, again, after Kingdom of Ash, I'm gonna need lots of different options because it'll depend on how I feel and how bad the withdrawal is and stuff. So this next one, I am so hyped for this because I've been talking. It's Water Falling by H.A. Pruitt. So it's the 3rd book in the Anathalion series. I don't want to lose the bookmark. And I'm hyped for this because she's not only my editor, but she's my author friend. So behind the scenes, we've been talking a lot about our different book series. And she's getting ready to publish book 5. So one, I need to get there before she releases book 5 so I can like hype it up when she launches it. And number two, she's publishing, getting ready to publish book 5, but she's actually writing. She's done writing the whole series, and she's writing like a companion book right now.
Yeah.
And the companion book connects to the characters. She hasn't said much about it to the public, so I'm not going to spoil that.
Oh,
but
no,
I'm
yeah.
excited. I'm so hyped. And she's thinking about publishing it after book 5, so I'm so
Sweet.
hyped.
Awesome.
But I need to catch up, and also I finally figured out which books are about who. Basically, each one of the books, I remember Alien, the necklaces belong to, there's 4 characters. It's like Chronicles of Narnia, where they start off on Earth, they get sent to a fantasy world, they each inherit these necklaces that kind of like, I don't remember if it gives them powers or not. I don't think they've unlocked the powers yet, but essentially they each have a different necklace. So each book has a different necklace on the front and is connected with a different character. And so I know Alien and Earthquaking because I've already read those. It's books 1 and 2. So now I know Water Falling and is book 3. Water Rising is book 4, and both of them are about the same character, and I know who that is. And I know who book 5 is about. So I'm just really, really hyped. Her books have, like, we've talked about this before, me and her, how God is really inspired. Like, she's more God inspired when she writes than me. Like, God will pop in a few good lines or lessons or themes here and there. She literally has, like, the Holy Spirit on her side, because there will be truths that pop up in her books that just so powerful, and like it reminds you, and she'll read it, and God's used it to help her too. And I feel like this is kind of gonna be a good timing for for me, because of the stuff. So I really, and like this one, Water Falling has the theme of like the bad before the good in Water Rising. So again, this is like a perfect timing book, and I feel like it's going to be really heavy and really powerful.
I think it's going to be pretty good. Yeah,
so I'm pretty, it'll be nice to get back into Christian fantasy for a little while and stuff, and have that where I can kind of take a breath and like have it actually be like some Christian themes and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really hyped about that. So shout out to H.A. Pruitt if you're watching this.
She's a faithful commenter. I always enjoy going back and look at her comments later, because she can't always join us live, but I always like enjoy going back to look at her comments. So she'll probably make a comment about me commenting about her making comments. It'll be like commentception type thing. It's gonna be funny. I'm excited. So yeah. Okay. This was
for a third one.
I'm giving myself options. I'm not going to get all 3 of these read, but this is one I picked up. I'd been eyeing it at Target for a while, and I finally kind of gave in and bought it. But it's essentially, this girl spends about 9 years of her life not having dreams, but then she, it's confusing. Okay. Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams. So she dreams a lot. And so in her dreams, she typically has like visions of these 6 unearthly figures that are called omens. And so she can predict terrible things before they occur, and the lords and common folk alike travel across the Stonewater kingdoms, windswept moors, and mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. So essentially her dreams will give her visions of bad things before they happen. And so then the diviners, which are what her like the sisters that she lives with, the other girls that live in the same area that she does, they're called diviners, and they start disappearing. And then so this guy shows up, this knight shows up called Roderick. And he doesn't really, it says that he's described as rude, heretical, why did I say heretical? It's weird. It's late at night. Yeah. I said it and I'm like, that is not the right word. That's not how you say that. But heretical and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help to find them. So it's kind of like a fantasy mystery-ish type vibe it's giving off. So I think it'd be interesting. I don't know if I'll get to it this month, but it's one I definitely want to read here soon. But also the map on the inside cover is like gorgeous.
I like that, actually. It looks really good. So
okay, that's all my books for August.
All right, I've got a couple more just because I'm giving myself options. I did have to mention my Kickstarter is going to launch on Tuesday, August 5th. I was thinking about delaying it, but I'm gonna keep it. We're gonna launch on August 5th. So this whole month is going to be just me kickstarting, promoting this thing. So I had to bring that up because it's gonna be
Yeah.
in there. It's Survivor TV show meets the Hunger Games. So another there's this really cool tagline that I came up with the other day. It was like, if the Hunger Games grew up and became an adult, and I kind of like that one. Um, so I'm pretty hyped about this. It's the Kickstarter, so I've come up with some really, really fun trailers and things. If you guys follow me and her on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
I may put them in the comments sometime or something. But I'm pretty hyped about this. I'm excited. So that's pretty exciting. I've been trying to work on the audiobook, which I made a decision to delay the audiobook for now till after the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But something exciting happened where I actually had a pretty like in my mind, a famous audiobook narrator audition. And he's the voice of Brennan in Fourth Wing. And who was he? He was one of the summer court or something in
Oh,
I think Avatar,
sweet.
and he was somebody else in Crescent City, but I don't know who he was in Crescent City. Not the
Okay.
main guy. I don't remember names. So he
Isaiah,
has a very
is it
sexy
is
voice.
is it Israel or I forget. Um.
I don't remember. I'm have to put up on my email here. But yeah, so he basically is a famous dude who actually auditioned for my book. So it didn't work out. Obviously, I wasn't expecting it to when I found out that I'd been communicating with this famous person the whole time. His name is Danny. Um, Danny Gavigan is who he is. And so the fact is, I have his voice reading some of my guy characters in the audition script, and I'm going to cherish that forever. Let me tell you, he nailed the girl too. I'm like, because I was looking for a team, and I was like, if I manage to actually hire him,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a team, just need him because he can just do everything. Like it was so good.
Yeah.
He sounds really good. So Danny Gavigan is his name, and it still may work out if I earn enough in the Kickstarter. We
Ooh.
may be able to hire him. Actually, he said he
Yeah.
would. He just not gonna to share. So I'm like, okay. He's also filming. He's currently shooting an independent film. And so his
Oh,
schedule's been
cool.
really busy. So I'm like, man, you're like, thank you for even gracing me
Yeah.
with a reply. Like,
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I'm so
Hey,
excited to see what
we're
happens.
gonna push and push, and then hopefully our fans will come through, and your fans from
Yeah.
JW Warriors and everything, like your channel, personal channel, will
Oh,
come
thank
through
you.
and
I
be
get
like,
my warriors.
"Hey,
Hey, let's make this happen. Danny Gavigan, baby. Speaking of which, I actually have 46 followers on my Kickstarter. I was
sweet,
struggling to get to 25,
yeah,
and I've actually gotten to 46, so I've doubled that. I'm pretty happy. But I also threw in, I'm for some reason I'm in a Pinterest mood. I haven't been on Pinterest in forever, but I've been posting Star Wars, Anakin and Darth Vader content, some of the comic books, and just all these feelsy posts. And I'm just like, for some reason, Anakin Vader obsessed right now. I don't
mm-hmm.
know why, it just hit me. So one of them had this line from one of the novelizations. I don't know which one, and I couldn't find the pin again, and I didn't keep track of it. But I was like, I want to read that book because I know I have it. So I think it's one in this collection.
Ah,
And I
yeah,
think it's Darth Vader, The Rise of Darth Vader.
yeah,
And I didn't read it because I didn't think it was gonna have stuff in it that was like current canon, but I think it actually has him think about Ahsoka, and
mm-hmm.
that was the thing that I read, the snippet that I read from the book that I was like, if he thinks about Ahsoka, that's like, to me, kind of like canon Anakin,
Mm-hmm.
not like legacy Anakin before the Clone Wars came out, and so it really that's the only thing that's gonna fix my mood is reading this book, reading the not this book, but the Dark Lord um, Rise of Darth Vader by James Luceno, or Luceno, which is the third book in this collection. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Um,
I
okay. So, okay. Thank you, AI overview on Google. It said the main Star Wars book where Anakin reflects on Ahsoka Tano is the Star Wars Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. The book explores Ahsoka's journey after leaving the Jedi Order and her struggles as she tries to find her place in the galaxy. While Anakin is not the main character in the book, he has a significant presence in Ahsoka's thoughts and memories as she grapples with their past relationship. The book delves. Okay, I don't know if that's what you read.
No, it was Darth Vader thinking about Ahsoka at one point in the book. I actually have the Ahsoka novel. I think that's this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never actually read it, but I do have it. So, but yeah, it was specifically Darth Vader. So I will. I'll have to find that pin. I've pinned hundreds the last couple of days, so I'll scroll through and find it eventually.
It's still okay.
But so that
When I changed it to Darth Vader, it's still bringing up the Ahsoka book, so that might be a tentative TBR book, maybe.
yeah, maybe.
Huh.
Definitely gonna. I've got it on my phone, so I need to. But yeah, so the Darth Vader one is gonna be a potential. And then my last one, because I'm giving myself options. So you and I, after I think it was after our last check-in, we stayed on Discord, and there was a free book stuff your Kindle thing, and we spent hours just going
We did.
through books, picking them out. You had a better method than me. My method screwed me over. I downloaded a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I don't think this was from that, but this one's on Kindle Unlimited. It is Slaying the Shadow Prince, Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers, but like the cover and the blurb, and it just sounds so good, by Helen Schreier. So, I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even gonna try. But it looks so gorgeous. I'm trying to get, so that's something that I'm kind of excited for.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Okay. All right. So a couple things. Tome. Okay, this is kind of past news, but Tome, the app that I've kind of went to for like bookish content and interactions with people now, is fine. They finally released the app for Android. It's called Tome, and then social book tracker is the name of it on the Google Play Store. So that's there. Something else with like bookish apps. Here recently, in like mid-July, Goodreads put an update, which was like the first time in a hot minute, Goodreads. But the thing is, people have been asking for like half-star ratings, for a long time, and none of the things they like. I don't mean this in a mean way, but very few of the things they've mentioned are things that a majority of the people that I've seen have been asking for. They changed the logo. That's the first thing.
I noticed that.
Yeah, they changed the logo. That said, new logo is designed to better reflect Goodreads, and is optimized for accessibility, so it looks clear and sharp no matter where you see it. From your phone to a billboard, lowercase g incorporates the magnifying glass over an open book, symbolizing the book discovery and sharing of perspectives that are at the heart of Goodreads experience. Next thing, new achievements is our popular annual challenge. So, reading challenge. So, if you didn't know, Goodreads has this annual reading challenge where you set the book goal that you have for the year, and then you can track your progress in your books. A lot of apps have that now, like your yearly goal. Most apps, other than Goodreads, call it like your goal, your reading goal, or whatever, or any variation of that. Goodreads calls it a reading challenge. And so, it said, we've been listening to readers' feedback about wanting more reading motivation and recommendations throughout the year to help them achieve their annual reading goal. For authors and publishers, helping readers have fun while strengthening their reading habits builds a bigger audience for your books. We're now introducing new rotating limited time achievements throughout the year, and we're delighted to see so many readers discovering books that they wouldn't normally choose or find admiring. I've seen the little challenge, they're like little bookmark type things. I haven't really interacted with that much. But it says you wanted a read list. Your want to read list is now included in your books on Amazon. So this is one of the most popular customer requests that we now made it easy for readers to reference the list of books they've recently discovered when they were choosing their next book to read on Amazon. It's another example of how driving want to read shelves for your book. So it's like it connects Amazon with your want to read shelf, I guess, somehow. And then also, they're expanding their book catalog to include more audiobooks. 1 million, apparently. So it says, due to the growth in audiobook listening and adding more than 1 million audiobooks to our catalogs allows readers to be more easily kept track of their reading. So they're adding more audiobooks to. I'm assuming it has pictures. A lot of the pictures are like only on Audible type things. So a lot of the pictures they chose, several, like about half the pictures they chose in their graphic are the Audible, like the ones that have the little yellow banner that says only on Audible. So I'm thinking Amazon's connecting everything. So it's essentially what's happening there. And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's a very underwhelming update because there's a lot of things that I would have liked the half stars. That would have been great. Having a more official support system for authors, because I know you've mentioned that's a big issue. Like the update, like even things like book covers are like, there was another Joanna White that is on Goodreads that hasn't updated in literally probably like 15 years, and they had you linked with her for like ages, and you have to go through like, yeah, it's just, I remember you going on about that, and it was like forum, like you have to type in a forum. There's no like official, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even done Survivor because every time I publish a book, I'm like, I dread having to put it on Goodreads because you have to post on a discussion forum and ask for help, and people ignore me all the time, and they never get around to helping you, and I have to post like, somebody please change my freaking cover or make this a part of my book series, like, and I have to post multiple times, and like,
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
you have to nag
The good
them to
news
get
is
them to do
Survivor
it.
only has one edition. Yeah, and Survivor only has one edition, so hopefully that'll go a lot smoother because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
trying to update my books was a nightmare.
yeah.
So it's been a hassle. But so yeah, I really wish they would help authors more. But
Yeah,
it'd be nice to have half stars though. That's one thing I love about Fable is because
yeah,
I was
me
able
too.
to do 4.75 stars on a book, and it was like that was helpful.
Oh yeah.
So I do actually have some Kickstarters to shout out before it gets too much later because I always have to tab like we talk about it around the whatever mark. So this one I saw this and I'm like, this might be kind of up Hannah's alley, and I got excited on your behalf. It sounds actually really unique. So it's an exciting, uplifting World War II French Renaissance duology. So historical fiction novel for adults and middle grade set in occupied France to read together, or you can read them as standalones. It is Sowing Resistance by J.H. Foster, and then Boy Resisting, I think, by J.H. Foster. Welcome to Rebels and Resistance, a duology of World War II historical fiction novels designed for two different audiences. Same characters, same setting and secrets, but written to appeal to different age groups so you can discover thrilling stories of intrigue, suspense, and espionage with your middle grade child. So read one or the other or both. I actually think that's a really cool concept. So Boy Resisting is like the middle grade version. Sowing Resistance would be the adult version of the book. That's really like, I've never seen anybody do that before.
Yeah.
So you can read, like, if you just wanted to read, because you don't have a kid, obviously, so if you just wanted to read Sowing Resistance, or if I just wanted to read it, you could just get that book, read it as a standalone. Okay, and it's really good to have conversations about wartime and stuff. So World War II, it's historical suspense, so that's really cool. Well-known historical figures, part of the plot. Okay, a little bit of humor. Yeah, so it hasn't launched yet, so you can click notify me on launch like you can do with mine. It's in the pre-launch stage, and follow along with the Kickstarter campaign, and then you can get notified as soon as it's launched. So I don't know what reward tiers they're going to have for it, but I assume she's going to have like an ebook one. They usually do. So that was Sowing Resistance by J.H. Foster.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool. So especially for like parents and kids, I think that's a really neat concept. And I really love World War II and historical fiction. So the French Resistance. So this next one is gorgeous. the cover, I cannot get over the cover. So the next one is Draconis Awakening, a steamy paranormal romance deluxe edition. I forgot to give you the links to these, so we'll add that to we have a single landing page that you guys can click on. I'll add them to the landing page right after this video, and they'll be at the top, so you guys can find these if you're wanting them. So this is a Kickstarter that's ending soon, so if you're watching this, you only have 4 days to go. Draconis Awakening, the cover, the hardback cover, and the sprayed edges are gorgeous, and she has like a video of her actually holding it in her hands and stuff. So let me find the blurb here. They dreamed of one day flying as long as they survived their awakening. 21-year-old Tierney awaits her awakening, deadly transformation that, if successful, will allow her to transform into her dragon. Her father vanishes to the unknown. A vision shows him in the hands of their sworn enemy. Though fearful for his life, Tierney is determined to find him, but when Jax, her soulmate and best friend, rejects her and leaves her in the middle of the search, her heart is shattered. 2 months from his 22nd birthday, which would end any chance of the awakening, Jax can't decide if that's a good thing or not. His powers are already out of control. How much more dangerous will he be if his dragon emerges? Afraid of hurting her, he's done his best to keep Tierney at a distance. Then they kiss. Jax is ready to trust what they are to each other until he gets a phone call that changes everything. So it's very much a shifter romance, just with dragons is what it's like. The cover art and sprayed edges are gorgeous on this, though.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta shout that out. So. And it has the tropes there, so if that's your kind of thing. I'm not one for like fated mates or shifter kind of stuff. But we've got a tormented male character, multiple POVs, found family, not from Earth, dad's been taken, evil villains, mystery suspense, steamy dragon romance, magic wolves, rejected soulmate, happy ending, happily ever after. So that's typical with romances. So yeah, so it looks really good. I'm excited. It's ending soon, and she's got $5,000 of her $1,000 goal, so it actually did really good, and I'm really excited for her. Yeah, the art looks pretty good too. So, it's always exciting when your Kickstarter does good, so you can be happy for the authors. So those are the ones that I was going to shout out. I did actually pledge to 4. So it's kind of like a book haul, but it's like a digital book haul because I don't have the books yet. But you believe you me, I will be talking about them when I get them. So the first one is Princess of the Maze Deluxe Hardback. No, not the Deluxe Hardback. It's just what it's called. I got the ebook version of the Kickstarter edition because it's Greek mythology, romantasy kind of, and I pledged to the first book, and it's the second book in that series. I have the first book. I think it's called Bride of the something.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. It's like the Greek retelling type, Greek gods retelling type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so Bride of the Sun. So it's Princess of the Maze, which this one seems like it's like a Minotaur Greek retelling kind of thing. So it looked really good. I was like, I've got to. The next one I got, which I am so hyped for this one. And I actually, this one, Time Traders Romantic Adventure, it's like a dinosaur time travel romance. And she actually had a free sample of the book, so you can kind of see if you like the vibe. I really appreciate when authors do that because sometimes you just don't know if it's your style. I actually really did get into the book when I read the sample, so I knew it was like, okay, I'm going to pledge to this. So it gets time. She's time travels to study dinosaurs and has a romance with the guy that goes with her or something. It looks so good. I got the ebook. I am very hyped for that one. So I'm just running through my book haul really quickly because it's like a book haul, but like I haven't gotten them yet. So I'm excited for all of these. Next up, I got Kickstarter for authors. It's the author who came up with this. I actually hired her to critique my Kickstarter, and she helped me out so much. And that's why Survivor's Kickstarter is kind of like the way it is now. She has an ebook called Kickstarter for Authors, so it's a nonfiction that kind of breaks down like how to do it and like all the good steps. And if you follow those steps, you're more than likely to succeed. She's updating that book, and so this is a new like 2025 version edition. So it's like the updated edition, and I didn't want to miss it. And this one has all of the she has a bunch of special things that are going in this one that she was able to unlock and like stretch rewards in this Kickstarter that won't be when she does eventually publish this one. So I was like, it's $10, I gotta grab it. So
yeah.
And then this one, I don't know. I didn't actually try these books, so maybe this was like an impulse buy. I hope I did it. I hope I end up liking them because I bought the series. I did the $15 one, the trilogy. It's Jane Austen meets Skyrim.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's like Pride and Prejudice and some of those kind of Jane Austen vibes, but like Skyrim meets Skyrim. And I'm like, all right, you convinced me. I'm buying. And the thing is, like with the ebook, I bought the ebook trilogy.
Okay.
And it was like,
What's it called?
the Kickstarter covers, Warriors and Mages by Victoria Dixon. Um, so, but it was like, the covers are the illustrated Kickstarter edition covers, and so it's like the only time to get those, and I really loved those covers too, so I didn't want to wait for her to just launch the regular books, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? So I wanted to get the illustrated covers because they look really good, and it sounds really good too. So I think it ended, and she was like, $55,000 is how much she got for this Kickstarter.
Wow.
It was just, yeah, it was like, I was like, well, that's great. There was, I did tier 1, which was like the exclusive ebook trilogy with the illustrated covers. I was only one out of 227 backers that did that tier alone. So, and also we get the digital rewards pack because it comes with it because of all the stretch things. So I'm like, Jane Austen meets, I've never read Jane Austen's books, Pride and Prejudice and stuff. I've always been kind of intrigued and wanting to read them at some point. But the fact that that kind of meets Skyrim and it's like sword and sorcery with romance and stuff, I'm like, okay. And I think it's non-spicy, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But there was like, so I'm like, that looks good. So.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a lot. So, your turn.
The only other couple things that I had, so there was a rumor that was posted by Divinity Seeker 1 on Twitter, or X, whichever you prefer. But apparently it was that Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, and Woody Harrelson had reportedly signed on for 2 days of filming in 2026. And they're speculating that it's for Sunrise on the Reaping, so possibility of making like the final scene where it goes back to the present, that there might be doing some kind of scene with that. So this, and it's not confirmed, and they said that past scoops from this account have hit the mark, but others not so much, so as always take it with a grain of salt. But I think it would be, I don't see how they could not make the movie and not do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I was excited because, like, that was my next one, too. It was, like, Down with the Capitol on Facebook is what reported on it. And, again, it's not been officially confirmed. We're, like, reiterating that. But it's supposedly Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, and Woody Harrelson has made a deal for a 2-day shoot to reprise their roles. So,
yes.
We don't know if it's true, but again, like you said, I don't know how they could not. So it's pretty exciting.
The only other thing I had was that this next week, I think it's like on Tuesday. I mean, my whole computer's running slow. It's just not fun. August 5th is the Fall in the Kiss of Dusk, which is the 4th book in the Crown of Naxia series. Comes out on August 5th, which I think is Tuesday. So,
that's my Kickstarter launch day. That's fun.
So I'm excited for that. It includes Mishi and Asher, I think. I'll have to go back and them too. It follows that whole storyline. So, continuation.
Right.
And if people, like, listeners haven't heard of the Crown of Naxia series, it starts, book 1 is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And so how she's set up this series, which I think is really kind of unique and I kind of like, is that each, books 1 and 2, every 2 books go together. So books 1 and 2 are about one particular character, and it's about a particular court of, like, vampires. Yeah, and so the first 2 are about one particular couple, And then the next two are about two other characters, and so supposedly, I think there's like 6 total, I think, if I remember correctly, the number of books in the series. But there's 2 more that will eventually come after the one that's getting ready to come out. So, and she
That's
always...
exciting. I can't get past book 3, so hopefully one day I will.
And she was released like novellas or like standalone type books in between. So you have Six Scorched Roses, which is like more like a novella style size, and then Slaying the Vampire Conqueror is more like it's more of like a book type thing, but they're like more standalone type novels. But those characters eventually come into play at some point, but they're more like background characters. So I think it's kind of interesting that she goes back and tells a story about the background characters that you see in the main novels. So I think it's kind of cool.
It really intrigues me as an author because it's been interesting. It's a series of romantic duologies, basically, and it's just like nobody's ever done that before, and it's so unique. Mm-hmm. And one of my book series is I got myself into a situation where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this and what the solution is, because this is not how people publish books. And when she did that, I was like, oh, that's how you do it. It's fine. I can just follow, because like it really helped me out as an author too. So and she has a really beautiful writing style. Like she has really beautifully written prose. So I love her. I need to get over my issues with book 3 and like actually go back probably like September, maybe my September TBR, maybe getting back into Carissa Broadbent, because by then the other book will be out. So and I haven't read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror or Conquering the Vampire Slayer. I had that mixed up. But yeah, so that's exciting.
And she's also her War of Lost Hearts series. She's re-releasing her daughter the War of Lost Hearts series, and she's redoing the cover for the first book, The Daughter of No Worlds, that comes out in October 14th. So
and then I think November is the next Quicksilver book. It's Brimstone. So and then Darth Vader. Wasn't there a new Star Wars book?
Yes. I can't remember, because I know I honestly had forgotten that I had pre-ordered the next Naxia book, Crown of Naxia book. Yeah, no, I haven't got that. But there's a Darth Vader book coming out soon. I don't know when. I have it saved on Goodreads, but I don't know. I forget.
I'm not
when it comes out.
Is not helpful.
My books. What to read.
So that's another. I wrote it down in my anticipated reads, so I can find that in my reading journal when we're done here. But
yeah.
So.
Let's see. It's Star Wars Master of Evil. And it's expected, Goodreads says it's expected November 11th. Let me double check that with Amazon.
Yeah. So it was November. So that and Brimstone's going to be my November.
Anytime they add more lore to Darth Vader, I'm down for it. So.
Yeah, 100%.
Usually. So it's like after episode 3. And it's essentially, it says in the description it says a newly forged Darth Vader. So I'm assuming it's still young Anakin, but he's in the suit.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really good. And so it's like, including, Mustafar, yeah, it's like, I think it'll be really good. I'm excited for that. I completely forgot about that one. But, and I think they are re-releasing the new cover of The Rise of Darth Vader. I think they're doing like a new cover for that. I thought they were. Or there was like another, like an older Darth Vader book.
Just talking about The Rise of Darth Vader in this collection. This is like the collection.
It's like an anniversary edition. It was like Revenge of the Sith. It was like an anniversary novel. Yeah, it's like an anniversary novel for the Revenge of the Sith novel by Matthew Stover. So, I don't I don't know if they have a release date on that or not. Unless I'm missing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So a lot of upcoming books.
Yeah, pretty excited for the latter half of the year. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of different good books.
Yeah, it's
So,
it's
let us know
pre-order. It's in pre-order right now, and it's like $55 on Amazon. So, but it has like
I already have
inside.
twice,
It has like
so.
inside the like like inside the inside cover, like the hardback itself has images. So, yeah, I don't know if I can justify $55 though, but it looks very nice. There's like sprayed edges, and it says the sprayed edges is like, this is how it feels to be Anakin Skywalker forever, and I'm like, it looks really cool. Like the cover,
the book, when he actually has that line, is like one of the most powerful lines I've ever read in a fiction book.
Yeah.
I loved that. Book is one of my favorites of all time, because he does like that whole page is just like, it's gut wrenching. So that line, like the fact that that's on the sprayed edges, is like,
it looks so. I'm not gonna. It looks really good.
I have that line. I have it in this one because this collection is the prequel trilogy, so I have the Revenge of the Sith novelization. And then this one is the Dark Lord trilogy, so I have it in that one too. It's the second book in this one. I have it twice, but I'm like, that would almost be worth it for me, just as I'm obsessed. But yeah, let us know what how your guys' July reads went, and what your August reads are going to be, and all the things. I think my friend H.A. Pruitt is going to be releasing a coloring book for her first book, Anathalion, and she drew it all herself. So like she took all of the illustrations that are in the chapter headers for Anathalion and turned it into a coloring book, which I think it actually has illustrations from her other books in the series. Sweet. So that's launching this month as well. So that's another thing to be excited about. But let us know. And if there's any kind of bookish content you want us to cover, let us know too. We love talking about things. Yes. So, because I think that's pretty much a wrap.
Yeah. All right.
It was a lot of fun.
We'll see y'all later. Bye.
See you later. Bye.